All right, let's throw literal bleach in our eyes.
Factors, actually the crime rate dropped significantly to the point where it's like not that different from. Here's something that is true, okay? And I actually linked to somebody who really studied Jewish history and was a scholar of such. And they talk about the fact that during the 50s and the 60s, the people who were either the co-owners or owners of a lot of the record labels, okay, were Jewish people. And these were people who were signing these people to exploitative deals, where they're either stealing their money, stealing a lot of the cuts of their artists, and basically going through the process where they were taking advantage of black people in these positions. Now, if you understand the history
Now, okay, go ahead.
of black folks in North America, there's a lot of exploitation where they feel a lot of the wealth.
Now, the fact that these people are Jewish, how is that relevant, right? If you removed all the Jewish people from the music industry and just replaced them with literally anybody, the nature of that business, especially at the time, was super exploitative. Do you really think that? I guess he really thinks it's just the Jews that made it exploitative. That if it was, I guess, white people, Christians, anyone else, that it wouldn't be exploitative? Like, genuinely. Genuinely. It's capitalism you have a problem with, but yet you're somehow characterizing it as Jews. I mean, what the fuck, dude?
That black people generated has been siphoned out of the community. And when you constantly see media representation of Jewish people and stealing those, as well as historical context that makes that shit true, you can understand why there's a bit of a negative sentiment and animosity. Like, this might surprise y'all, but most black people did not give a fuck about Kanye's comments about Jewish people.
I love that ABBA is now, he's speaking for all black people, or most black people. I speak for all black people when I say nobody cared. Interesting take, dude. I'm glad that you are the representative of, by the way, American Jews are American. I mean, African Americans. These guys are Canadian. They don't even fucking live here. But he can speak for all African Americans.
Artists, and basically going through the process where they were taking advantage of black people in these positions. Now, if you understand the history of black folks in North America, there's a lot of exploitation where they feel a lot of the wealth that black people generated has been siphoned out of the community. And when you constantly see media representation of Jewish people and stealing those, as well as historical context that makes that shit true, you can understand why there's a bit of a negative sentiment and animosity. Like, this might surprise y'all, but most black people did not give a fuck about Kanye's comments about Jewish people. They didn't really care about what Kyrie did, because their relationship with the Jewish people was like, oh yeah, that shit sounds true.
This is incredible. This is incredible. What other group could you be like, yes, we're all super racist, but for good reasons? Like, who else could you say? He's like, yeah, all black people just hate Jews. And mostly because it's true. Can you replace that with any other group? I mean, what is going on here? And yet here these guys out here just in full daylight with blatant, wild anti-Semitism. And wait till you read the comments.
So until you demystify that, most black people are not going to care. And then you punish these people, whether you feel it's justified or not, they're just going to build that animosity even further.
And then if you punish people, implying that Jewish people are punishing them, and it's just going to make them more angry. So Abba's theory is anytime someone is racist, homophobic, transphobic, whatever, we cannot punish them. We must just talk to them. We must just demystify. What the fuck are you saying, dude?
I'm trying to say the dialogue needs to be a bit better.
We're talking about the music and Jewish people, and it's crazy.
Is that what you did, by the way, when you made a video called H3 Loves Black People? When you tenderly demystified to me? I don't know. Let's hear what dumbass Reach has to say.
We're talking about the music and Jewish people, and it's crazy.
There's a bunch of bars.
I remember when I was listening to the Fugees. You know the Fugees was big for me, right? That's the first time I saw some Haitian people being well represented and being proud to be Haitian and stuff like that. Now, before that era, it was not good to be black or to be like Haitian, even like whatever. And I remember I used to be underrated. Now I take Heinz, make my shit constipated. I'm more concentrated. So on my day off with David Sonnenberg, I play golf. Everything is a reference to a CEO of Sony and this and that. Once upon a criminal, Mazel Tov. Probably when human, before I'm black, I'm first human. I protect the right like Frederick Douglass with a slave. Like it was always, if you listen to hip hop, there's always a reference.
Yep.
And saying, well, there's a lot. There's a lot of Jews in there's a lot of Jews. There's a lot of black people in a lot of industries, right?
Can we just appreciate that the closed captions has him saying juice? There's a lot of juice. Love that.
Jeez, right? There's a lot of people in rap. That's racist. Okay. There's a lot of people in the NFL. That's racist. There's a lot of black people in rap. None of this is racist and was good. We could say that. When we talk about white people, though we could say, well, white people are in a position of power. Yeah, that's bad. But the other overrepresentation we can't really talk about. And then when we do, because we want to question,
you can talk about it. This is like this is anti-Semitism just with this blatant and willing mischaracterization. You can talk about it. Okay. The people who you're defending, one recommended a Holocaust denying book. Okay. And when asked if he wanted to take it back or something, he doubled down. Now we're talking about Kanye, who literally tweeted out, I'm going DEFCON on all Jews. So what do you mean you can't talk about it? Because they did a lot more than just say, hey, did you notice there's a lot of Jews in Hollywood? I mean, dude, what the fuck is this comparison? You guys are talking about it right now. I didn't see like a Mossad hit on you guys or something. Or your YouTube channel like imploding or so. I don't know what conspiracy you would think.
we just want to question.
Yeah, exactly. And in the title, they put anti-Semitism in air quotes, like as if it's not a real thing. What do you mean by that?
We can't do that. It's just, it's not, you have to understand how weird it sounds, guys.
Is that true though?
What?
That they just want to question? Because if we being honest, let me put on my little, you know what I mean? Okay? If I'm being honest.
He wanted to say yarmulke. Or maybe he's just not that funny or quick.
A lot of people are not just being like, well, I'm quite equipped. Some of them being like, yo, listen, bro, how you feel about the Illuminati? Because the Jews run this shit.
Yeah, I heard that thing.
What's interesting about ABBA, he has this ability to, on one hand, acknowledge why what he's saying is wrong, but on the other hand, willingly ignore it to pander to his audience. In the same video, he did the same thing with Crowder, right? He goes, Ethan's a coward, he's slimy, but then later he goes, well, actually, here's all the reasons why it was fair to do this to Crowder.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like it halal, but you going back to like it kosher too, motherfucker. Yeah, you about to get it.
I understand that, but it's like we can't even. There's no. You can't maneuver this thing. You can't maneuver or ask because you're always walking on eggshells. That's sus. Whether you want to question or you're like, the minute you talk about something, then you get X'd.
You're talking about it right now, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's crazy.
Weird. And you know how they say, like, hey, if you want to know who's oppressing you, just check who you can't talk about. Man, we can't.
So great. The Jews are oppressing us now because you can't talk about them. You can talk about them. Why are you so surprised that people got offended when he said, I'm going DEFCON on all Jews? Like, why does that surprise you? Genuinely. It's just incredible, isn't it? Well, here, Woods says, as a black person, I cared about what Kanye said. Well, according to ABBA, you must be lying because most black people didn't care at all. Oh, yeah, didn't a Nazi say that? If you want to know who is your oppressor, see who you can't criticize. I'm sure I butchered it, but hopefully. To learn who rules over you is wrongly attributed to Voltaire. In fact, to learn who rules over you, simply find out you're not allowed to criticize. A quote by Kevin Alfred Strom, an American neo-Nazi. The quote is actually from Kevin, a white supremacist and Holocaust denier who pled guilty to possession of child pornography. It's awesome, huh? And I'm sure when he said it, he was probably talking about the Jews as a self-proclaimed Nazi. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? How well-versed these guys are?
Talk about y'all like you talk about us. We can't. Not even state a fact. You're going to be classified. It's sus.
Are you trying to say you feel oppressed by the Jews?
Nope. Not me.
I don't have that deep of a curiosity about this.
You're about to feel oppressed by this Jew, bitch. I can tell you that. When I'm done with these idiots, they're going to feel real oppressed by the Jews. This one in particular, bitch. Fucking losers. That's right. That's what the fuck is up. Hope you're ready for that. If you ain't anti-Semitic, you will be when I'm done with you. Fucking morons.
This group of people, I don't, that's not my real research, I take it interesting. I'm just telling you what I've heard through my peripheries pretty much my entire life growing up. And so that's why I wasn't surprised by any of these comments, because it sounded like a lot of the shit I was hearing in hip-hop pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, my suggestion is just that when it comes to this conversation, because you're looking at two communities that are coming from a place of like damage and extreme hurt, right? You have the Jewish people dealing with their Holocaust and, anti-Semitism throughout the world. You got black folks who are dealing with, Jim Crow and exploitation and the media industry.
And that's just in the U.S.
Again, it's not a black versus Jew issue. You're taking two incredible examples of like blatant, horrific, violent anti-Semitism, and you're turning it into like an oppression Olympics. I don't know what the fuck you're even trying to say, you morons.
In the world, I'm saying what you're saying. The Jim Crow.
Someone asked, did you see the H3 Loves Black People video posted? Yes, I'm going to respond to it tomorrow.
That's in the U.S., but you have the apartheid. You have a lot of other things going on throughout the world. So you got your thing, we got a thing.
Yeah, so all this to say, I think a bit of demystifying in regards to why things are in the place that they are. Like I drew the comparison with black crime or whatever it is. There's got to be a better education in regards to a lot of this stuff. Not just, we got 6 demands and you're going to do you honestly believe that Kyrie goes through this process and he's changed his opinions? You will put a grown man in timeout and you think you won't change his mind? No. If anything, his fan base was bolstered, even though he may have lost endorsement deals in terms of the actual ideas, they've just grown more popular and anti-Jew sentiment has increased. So the strategy that they're employing in order to fix the problem is backfiring. Yeah. So more conversations are needed in order to...
There's not a strategy to rectify. The Jews are not strategizing and trying to punish them systemically, okay? It's crazy. It's insane.
Make things more sane. Not this shit where you go like, get rid of his brand deals, but we'll still sell the shoes. Like, that doesn't make sense.
How does that involve Jewish people? Again, Adidas keeps selling the shoes. Okay. What's that got to do with me?
People are going to be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, Kyrie's not bad. Or they're going to be like, wait a minute. What's that thing you was posting about? Let me see that.
Yep.
Let me see that shit.
Yep.
What's it about? That's what's going to happen. More than the opposite. So, like, the way you, like, when you're saying that it's backfiring, yeah, I tend to agree. Yeah. I really tend to agree with that.
And so what was the solution, by the way? These two morons who says, we need to demystify anti-Semitism. Instead of actually taking the opportunity to do that, they just repeated a whole bunch of anti-Semitic tropes, quoted a neo-Nazi pedophile, and didn't give an alternative. They say, yeah, so he got punished, therefore it's going to create new anti-Semitism. Or what? Demystify it? Well, you guys didn't. So who the fuck is supposed to then? Come on now.
Blew up with, like, on Twitter or whatever, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it was hashtag the Jews, it wasn't exactly positive.
Yeah, when is it ever, dude? That's the whole fucking point.
You know what I mean? When they were talking about Facebook, it wasn't exactly the greatest thing. So when I'm seeing this, I'm like, I think it's backfiring. Just my thoughts.
It's backfiring.
Is it a couple of Jewish people that care, or most Jewish people don't? Like they're like, man, that's not.
No, they care.
The Jewish people.
Jewish people are like genuinely worried about the prospect of anti-Semitism, or because they understand like that stuff may potentially lead to another cost, right? So yeah, they're actually worried.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, anyway, fuck them. He's like, yeah, no, Jewish people are worried it could lead to another Holocaust. Anyway, fuck them. I did nothing to help demystify that. Well, anyway, yeah, whatever, fuck them. Enjoy the next Holocaust. Enjoy the next Holocaust, which you guys brought onto yourselves by not demystifying anti-Semitism enough. You know, that's why the Holocaust happened. The Jews in Germany and in Europe, they didn't work hard enough to demystify. If only they would have demystified harder, it would have never have happened. Yeah, so pretty crazy, right? Pretty fucking crazy video. Yeah, I just saw he was on Tiger Belly. I mean, I don't care. It's fine. He doesn't know. He doesn't follow any of this shit. It's fine. You know what I mean?